What is going on, Fightful Faithful? Welcome back here to Fightful Scraps for another interview with another amazing European wrestler. Today we are joined by the French sensation. You'll have seen her on NXT UK and so on. Amale, how are you doing today?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Corey.
Absolutely. It is a pleasure to have you on for this interview today. And I just want to start off with where people would probably know you most from NXT UK. You were I would say a big part of that roster. And I want to start off with someone who you also wrestled prior to NXT UK quite a bit, Lyra Valkyria slash Aoife Valkyrie at the time. And just wanted to get your thoughts not only on getting to wrestle her that much, your rivalry with her, and are you not surprised, but what do you think of how of her success so far?
I'm not surprised at all. First of all, she always have been amazing. Uh, Before WWE, in WXW, even in all the European circuits, she was a prodigy. Like when you met her the first time, you knew she will be a huge star. And I told her, like a few weeks ago, I told her, if you are my hero. Like she made it. She's doing amazing. I'm so proud of her, and the sky is the limit for her. Really, she can hang with the best, and she proved already that she's one of the best.
Absolutely. And when you look at the UK scene now, kind of just after kind of the end of NXT UK, you see so many of the staples of NXT UK finding success. Nina Samuels, who you wrestled a couple of times in NXT UK. You see Zaya Brookside over in TNA doing well. Is there anyone on that scene that you think hasn't got really a, a look in who was on NXT UK that you think fans should be paying more attention to?
Um, like they all have been doing so well after NXT UK. It's not easy to be going from being on TV, having a contract, to going back to the indies, and some of them have done so well, like Nina Samuels, Nina Turnbells. She have had an amazing uh, like career since NXT UK. Dani Luna as well. She's in TNA now. Zaya Brookside, as you mentioned, Trent Seven, like all amazing talents. I've seen that Amir Jordan is coming back to wrestling as well. He's done a really cool promo. Everyone is trying to get attention, and that's really cool to see.
And I want to talk a little bit about possibly your biggest match in NXT UK. I would say it was your NXT UK women's title match that you had with Meiko Satoura. She's finishing up this year. It is her last year of her career. Is there what was that like to get that time in the ring with Meiko, challenge for the championship, and be the first, as well as being the first French woman signed to WWE, you were the first French woman to challenge for a championship in WWE.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Sometimes I forget stuff like that, but yeah, I had the pleasure to face Meiko also before WWE in WXW. It was very challenging match, one of my toughest matches, and to be able to wrestle her a second time in NXT UK, it was really amazing. And it was a really particular time because it was during COVID, so there were no crowd. So we used to be taping our shows, so fan knew in advance what was going on. But because it was the COVID situation, there was no one in the crowd. So the final ending and all the match, they like I remember the French fans being really excited about that moment. I was a top tweet on Twitter, and just like being able to enjoy what's going on without knowing the income and stuff like that. That was one of my best moments in all of my NXT UK reign. Yeah.
And speaking of like big moments in NXT UK, I'd say one of your biggest programs and storylines in NXT UK involved Blair Davenport. And I want to know what that was like to work with Blair at the time. And do you see her? She hasn't been on SmackDown that much currently, but do you see her kind of breaking out when she just get the opportunity?
Yes, sometimes it's just about everything in WWE is about timing, I think. So she's gonna get her chance. She's really good. She have proved herself many times in NXT UK. She was always on the top list, and she has faced Meiko also. Yeah, I think she just needs a good opportunity to showcase herself. But she's really good, and I hope she will get it.
Absolutely. And just now, I want to talk to you a little bit about wXw. You did mention, obviously, you did get a chance to wrestle Meiko in wXw. But on top of that, when you did capture the wXw Women's Championship, you did it in a big match, a fatal four way. We mentioned Lyra already, but you also beat Toni Storm, who has gone on to be what she is today, as well as Killer Kelly. And
Yeah.
what was that on top of that incredible lineup for a match to come away the victor? What did that feel like to have the kind of the backing of the entire promotion? Because at that point, being the champion, you're the female face of the company.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was surprising for me too. Like, to be honest, it was very new. I had started with WXW, I think, like 3 months before getting the title, and to be able to share the ring with Tony Storm, with Killer Kelly, with Aoife, that was huge for me. Like, being French, coming from a small scene and having this big opportunity. And I think no one saw it coming, even the fans, and that's what got such like good reaction as well. But yeah, I was so grateful for the opportunity, and as you said, I represented the company, so I had to be there all the time, and it was hard work, but yeah, that was good memories. I'm really proud of that. But now that they retired the title in WXW, so I am proud to be part of the history forever. So that's cool.
And you mentioned that they retired the title, of course, but someone who you wrestled recently is the current WXW Shotgun champion. Uh, uh, sorry, Anita Vaughn. Sorry, just mixing up names here in my head. But Anita Vaughn,
Anita.
yeah, is that someone that you'd like to wrestle in WXW for that championship?
Oh, I would love that. Like, I wrestled her in Fury Wrestling in Germany. It was such a pleasure. The crowd was amazing. She's so talented, and I told her that night that I'm sad that they retired the women's championship, but I'm so happy that they gave uh, this chance to women and a platform, such a big platform, and to be able to, as us as a woman, to perform for that title. That's so big. That's so cool, and I would love to wrestle her in the WXW. Yeah.
And you mentioned that you've been wrestling in Germany more and so on lately, but that's kind of the thing. You've been popping up almost everywhere, all over Europe, and you've also been making a name for yourself in RCW Spain. You've been wrestling there quite a bit. What has that experience been like wrestling in Spain? Obviously, a lot of people don't really know a lot about the Spanish scene, and but for you, what has it been like for you?
Yeah, Spain is a small thing, but RCW, like if the promoter Carlos, is really trying hard to get something really good, a good product. He's putting the money, bringing people from all over Europe, all over the world, some Japanese, uh, and stuff like that. So he's really trying his best, and I hope it will pay off in the long run. But he has been running shows since a lot, bringing some huge star, like even Tony Storm, Yoskai. Um, People like that. So it's so good also to be part of that promotion. They treat people so well. They are so kind, and they care about women's wrestling, and that's really good. Like, it's a very good feeling. Recently I had the pleasure to be around like many women. I've seen the scene is growing. There's more than only one match, female match by show, so that's really really good to see.
Absolutely. And one thing that you did do in RCW is you entered the World Cup, which I found to be a entertaining tournament on the precipice, different nationalities for different women, and you all went that. You made it to the final, you came up just short, but what was it like to be in a tournament titled as a World Cup? Because the minute you hear the World Cup as a title, it's a you feel the gravitas of the tournament.
It's like I've always felt very good representing France. So being able to represent France in RCW was really cool. The crowd is always really nice, and being able to like face such big names, like since I debuted for RCW, I always have been put up against really talented people. So I'm very happy to be working with them, and I hope we will be working uh, in the long run together.
Absolutely. And like I said, you've been wrestling all over Europe, going back to Germany now for a match that you had in December that I want to get your thoughts on. You were part of the Woman of Cult title 6-woman gauntlet. Lana Austin, yourself, Jay Nero, Kanji, Nina Samuels, and Tank in that match. Uh, Lana Austin did come out the victor in that match. But what was that match like for you to be a part of, and be a part of the growing scene in Germany also? Because Germany, for a lot of people, obviously wXw, GWF, they know those companies. But for example, Cult is not as wrestling Cult is not as well known.
Yeah, it's not as well known, but for me it is, because I have started like my journey in Germany in wrestling cult, they called me the first lady of wrestling cult. I'm two-time champion there. They have like a big place in my heart. They've always supported me, and to be able to be back there, because I haven't wrestled there for many months. So be able to wrestle there and like hear the fan chanting "Welcome back" during my match. That was really good, and I was against really talented people. That was the first time I was facing Kenji. She's she's unbelievable. I would love to wrestle her again really soon. Um, Tank is really talented too. She have been to Marigold a few weeks after our match, and she won the titles. And like the scene is really crazy. Everybody's popping everywhere and doing like crazy stuff. That's so cool to see, like seeing people evolve and getting their stuff, and yeah, that's really cool to see.
And one thing that many people might not know about you is that before you did sign with WWE and you did stop doing it, you were a school teacher while you were wrestling at the same time. So I kind of want to ask, just like, what was that experience like on the week, during the week, dealing with students all day, dealing with kids all day, and then going out for the weekend to wrestle? What was that experience like? Was that something that was difficult to juggle, or was it just something that came naturally with time?
No, like the I will say it was exhausting, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
the kids are not easy to handle. Like you have to be very patient, but I think it's a bit like wrestling. It's a bit like teaching is a bit like theater for kids. You have to play a role and make them interesting to you, make them entertain, and make them want to learn. So I think in this sense wrestling helped me a bit, but it was really exhausting being having to work, because when you're a teacher, it's not only the time you in front of the kids, it's also you have to get all the work ready at home, and then uh, yeah, it's very exhausting. I don't miss it, to be honest.
I can imagine. And something
But
kind of,
there's many wrestlers are like are teachers.
yeah. That's there's plenty of examples of that. Probably I think the most prominent example would be Hangman Page in AEW. Was a English teacher before he became what he is today. So that's there's a big example there. But one thing we kind of skipped over a little bit that I do want to go back to was that kind of moment where you were the first French woman signed to WWE. Obviously, there had been French wrestlers in WWE before. We know them well at this point, but there hadn't been a women's wrestler from France. You were the first. In that moment when you were signed and that became a reality, what was that like? What did that mean to you to be the first woman signed to WWE?
That meant so much, like, but it was like a big oh finally, because we were like 2020 and no one before me has been signed. It was like just crazy, and I was like so happy to be able to be the first one and to knock that door. And I really hope I left it open for more talent, from more French talents, uh, and for European talents as well. Like there's such a good scene coming up, and I hope there's going to be more opportunity for everyone.
Absolutely, and can't ask for more than that. Really, as someone who from Ireland who's dealt with
Yeah.
kind of Irish representation over the years, and seeing it comes to, like, I can only imagine what it means to young women's French wrestlers seeing you wrestle in WWE. But um, one thing I do want to ask you now is just 2025. We're only 2 months in. Is there any big significant goals you have that you want to accomplish this year in wrestling? And if there is, do you think you can get them done?
Uh, I just would like to be able to wrestle all over the world and be able to meet cool people and like just enjoy. I'm feeling like since I get back, I'm enjoying more being in the ring. I'm enjoying more the presence of the people. Get more to know people and stuff like that. So it's just like more enjoying the moment and not being like, oh, what's next? What am I gonna do next? And stuff like that.
So basically, the
But
worst question I could have asked.
yeah, yeah. Like, but one of my goal in wrestling, maybe not this year, but hopefully soon, I would love to go to Japan and be able to live there, like live the culture and live the wrestling, and just get better and get more stuff in, and yeah.
And just one more question for you. You are going to be returning back to France for the first time in several months. Do you want to tell people about that and how you're feeling about that at this time?
Oh, I'm so excited to be back. I was a bit nervous before. I didn't accept some bookings. I had to cancel some just because I didn't feel comfortable being around some people. But now, like, everybody has been so supportive to me in France and even outside of France. Um, so I'm just so excited to be back, and all the answers from the fans when they announced me being back were like overwhelming. So I'm very, very excited.
Absolutely. And Amal, you've been absolutely fantastic in this interview today. Had an absolute pleasure chatting to you. Do you want to tell people where else they can come see you next, where they can follow you on social media, and what's next for you?
Oh. You can follow me on all my social media, Twitter, like X, Instagram, ML French Hope, like it's right on just here. I will be back in France with KO. KO is a new promotion. They try to do new stuff and give chance to new talents and be a bit different. So please support them, support their social media, Cow Wrestling. The 22nd of February, I will also be in RCW Barcelona in February next week, 15th. Also in Finland, and yeah, just follow my social media. You will see everything. And thank you so much for all the support online. Love you guys. Thank you so much, Corey.
No problem at all, guys. Make sure to keep up to date with Mel. She is absolutely tearing it up. She's all over the place, popping up in it. She said, Finland, Germany, Spain, coming back to France, everywhere at this point. But yeah, guys, if you're new to Fight for Scraps, like, subscribe, and comment down below what other European wrestling interviews you'd like to see in the future. And yeah, guys, see you all in the next one.